new plus versus the other one?
Hang on, I'm checking the leaderboard.
Oh, my
I can
bad.
barely see it. It's small on this phone. It's really small. I got to
It
zoom in.
hasn't changed as to this morning. Graham McDowell's still leading.
I know, because they're in China. You were supposed to make a large phone comment, Les. So thanks for dropping the ball on that. And also, thanks for dropping the ball on what time it is, because the guest and I, who happen to be in Arizona, we understand what time is. And you, Jason, you, Les, don't understand what time it is. So from this point forward, we're going to be at the same time that we always are, at 12:30 local time. So
I'm not sure why Jason and I put up with this abuse.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not really sure either, quite frankly. But let's get to it, because we've got an awesome guest with us today. And I actually have had the chance to meet this guy a couple of times. I've played his golf course a few times, and it's actually quickly becoming one of my favorite layouts, minus the 3 balls that I lost the last time I played there. But they have about 87 lakes on the golf course. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Today's guest is Brad Hodges, but we're going to introduce Les Bailey, even though I shouldn't, because he's late and refuses to respond to instant messages when I send them to him until he gets in front of his computer. He is from Pro Golf Now. Jason Boslow from Shop Junior Golf, who also was late, early. I don't remember whatever one you were. You were not on time either. And Brad Hodges from Ocotillo Golf Resort. This episode of the Friday Foursome, as all episodes, is brought to you by Back9. Brad, I know what you do. I know who you are, but I'm not going to pretend like I can tell it better than you can. So take a couple of minutes, introduce yourself, and tell us who you are and what you do.
Thanks, Ricky. Brad Hodges. I'm the Director of Sales here at Ocotillo Golf Resort. Handle a lot of the group bookings, marketing, social media aspects, which I don't think Ricky knows much about. I've been kind of teaching him, walking him through how to do the social media side of things for Troon Golf for a number of years. But I've been running that for a little while now, as well as our advertising, marketing pieces, like I mentioned, and a lot of revenue management here at the club.
Yes, you do teach me something new every day, and I will say your Google Plus presence as Ocotillo Golf Resort has gotten much better. I am very impressed with what you've been doing with that, and you've become a very intricate part of the golf community, so I appreciate you doing that leading up to your hangout today. So we got a lot of questions to go through. We're going to try not to talk about your quality of work on social media too much, because I don't want to make me look bad. So Jason, I'm going to let you kick things off and get this party started.
Yeah, and my first question is kind of directly related to both. So, I know Ocotillo is kind of under the Troon umbrella.
Hold on. You can't pronounce it.
Thank you, Ricky, thank you.
Hold on.
I knew that was coming. I was going to do it myself, but
Okay, so what did I do wrong?
Ocotillo.
Whatever. The place where you work. Here's the point of the matter, is we all think that Ricky works, and we're not really sure what he does. So can you kind of talk a little bit about what exactly Ricky does, and how does that impact your business at the local level?
And Brad, be very
sure thing,
Jason.
No, you got it, Jason from Shoop Junior Golf. What Ricky does a lot is actually help us out quite a bit. He really is instrumental when it comes to the social media side of things, not just in my world, but the world of Troon Golf. Discount Tee Times, I think he's a part of. I think he's a part of the mayor's office. I don't know what he's got his hands in a number of cookie jars, but he's actually been a big help when it comes to teaching about Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, obviously, as well as Instagram and just about any other social media outlet that there is. And it's actually been a big help. So I appreciate everything that hashtag Rickety does.
That's my nickname, Jason. Hashtag Ricky. That was pretty good, actually, Brad.
That was pretty good. I'll give you that one.
Okay, Bailey.
Yeah. You want me to talk about Ocotillo Golf Course or what?
It's not even a golf course.
All day, because that's how it's spelled. Like that's still what I think it says. So I'm just going to refer to it as the way that I see it written.
Well, we will discuss this offline.
Ricky called me down about my question, but I'm going to kind of ask it in the back door anyway. How does a facility become managed by Troon?
Well, that's actually a very good question. There's a lot of third-party management out there, not just golf courses, but really hotels, just about anything that's out there. It's all up to the ownership group when it comes to what they want to be able to accomplish, especially at a golf facility. HR, payroll is a big one, marketing, driving around with what we have with the Troon card, as well as all the other programs we have going on. So a lot of different benefits that goes on with the professionals over at Troon Golf that's been around since 1990 or something like that, if I'm correct. I hope Dana's not listening to
Ricky,
this.
were you even born
killed by all the folks up there.
Next year is our 25th anniversary, so look for a whole bunch of stuff coming out about that. So very, very good guess there.
So I nailed it. All right, nice. So it really all just boils down to that, how much they want to be involved and how much they want a third-party manager who's been around and have 200-plus golf courses all over the world to kind of run their operation and make them money.
Wow. Okay. So do you have to go out and get Troon to come in, or do they, guys like Ricky, talk to you and you become Troon?
Dear God, I hope Ricky's not out there in business development, or else we're in big trouble. I think the big thing that's out there is I'm a Troon employee, so that's where the big start is there. I would assume that business development over in Troon Golf hears about different openings from different areas, whether it's maybe social media, maybe just people in the know. They know when a course is either up for sale or up for renegotiating from other third-party management. And then we do have a business development team that's kind of ran by Tom Enders that goes out there, tries to get their business, sell them on what Troon Golf has to offer, and at that point they kind of pull the trigger or they don't.
Hopefully they mention Ricky in all of that.
That Tom Enders guy, he's a Phil Mickelson fan, so we don't talk about him too often.
All right.
I think he's a big Wildcat fan, University of Arizona, right?
You know, when he told me that he liked Phil, I stopped paying attention to pretty much everything he says. So I'm just kidding, Tom. Well, kind of. So the restaurant at Ocotillo is about as good as a golf course because I'm a foodie, and the food there is awesome. The beer list is awesome. We're going to talk about the beer list in a little bit because I was so impressed the last time I was there with what you guys had on tap. But the name of that is called Bernard's. Where did that name come from, and who is Bernard?
Good question. Our owner's name is actually Bernie Hogestrat. Is short, obviously, for Bernard. They actually live on the course. It's just his restaurant. They wanted his kind of signature on it, especially with the tagline. What's the tagline of the restaurant, Ricky?
Oh, I don't know. Is there one?
I think it might be called The Best View in Chandler.
Oh, well, that's what I call it. The best.
That's what you'd call it, yes. Well, I've been trying to push that. I don't know how far that's going, but obviously not too far since our social media director there doesn't know much about it. But nevertheless, a lot of good food. Switch the menus out quite a bit. We do a ton of events, whether it's weddings, social, corporate, obviously golf tournaments, a ton of different stuff that goes through that restaurant. And it's a lot of good food. We get a lot of good comments, too.
And it's the best view in Chandler.
You better believe it.
What is it, up Camelback someplace or what?
No. Jason, let's.
No, actually, the big differentiator that we have, and this extends to the golf course too, is all the water. We actually have a 27-hole property. 24 of the 27 holes have water on it. On the back patio that we have, it's called the waterfall patio for a reason because there's a big waterfall in the back there. They sit on the patio and have a nice waterfall behind it. And if you take a look at, and you're also viewing out to the golf course itself, take a look at some of the other restaurants in Chandler, which are very nice restaurants, don't get me wrong, but they just don't have the view that they have here at Bernard's when they sit outside in the patio and take a look at the waterfall and the beautiful grass of the golf course.
The best view in Chandler. Jason, that's actually a good transition to you talking about golf and other events that happened at Ocotillo.
So I'm curious, what is one thing, if you could wave your magic wand, what is one thing you would change about your facility?
Wouldn't be good question. What I would do, which would make my job actually a lot easier, would be add another 9 holes. If we could get another 9 to make it 36 holes, that would make my life a lot easier. But when it comes to things that might happen, maybe just some basic updating around the golf course, just touching some areas, whether it's turf on the greens, just specific aesthetic looks of the golf course itself, maybe building up some tees, doing some different tee monuments out there, little things like that for a little bit of a facelift.
Okay. That's a good question because I just played it a couple of weeks ago and it's such a good layout. There are a couple of trees that I hit that you could remove that would be awesome, but
we actually just added in about, I want to say 120 trees a little over 6 months ago. So we put those right in the Ricky Potts zone on the right side of the fairway out into the rough.
How did you know that I missed right?
Somebody followed him around on his last round and made note.
It sounds like Ocotillo needs a Ricky Potts tree. Much like the Eisenhower tree at Augusta, you know.
It'd be shaped like this.
That would be awesome. Hashtag approved. Let's make that happen. Les, off to you.
Yeah, I was just curious. From what I'm understanding, that most of the Troon resorts are a destination type place. How does golf fit into everything else that goes on at Ocotillo? Is it the main thing, or is it the side thing, or is it what?
Very good question, and just like any other course around it, it's primarily based on golf. You might have some places that, like the Phoenician, for example, another Troon facility that has a big, massive resort on there that's a 5-star resort. We are more of a residential community golf course where we have a beautiful community around us, a lot of residents that come out, play golf, visit during the restaurant, take advantage of a lot of our programs that we offer. I would say our resort isn't necessarily the destination of, say, like a Troon North or Kapalua would be, but more of a destination for the local residents, as well as a lot of snowbirds. So the folks from Canada, Midwest, get a ton of those that come down that will stay with us starting about now through Easter time. That will play us quite a bit, rent homes on the property, things like that.
All right.
So you're busy. You're always
no
busy.
knock against the snowbirds. I don't know who said, "Hey, easy now." It was that's our bread and butter.
Hey, I lived in Florida for 18 years, man. I know about snowbirds.
All right, perfect. Good.
So you're busy. You've always got something going on. There are a lot of different aspects to your job. I mean, obviously, you said that if you had 9 more holes, that it would make it easier. But what is the toughest part of your job from Monday through Friday? And even on the weekends, what's the hardest part about your job? What makes it tough being Brad?
Well, I wish I could say some stuff, but to be honest with you, this place really does sell itself. I would say the hardest part for me is actually to get the folks when I'm selling people onto the property itself, because when that happens, the sales is close to 60, 70, 80% clip, which is unheard of, because they see how pretty it is compared to other facilities around us. I would say that'd be the hardest part, but to say Brad Hodges' life is hard would be you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because I probably have the best life going around today.
You don't play a lot of golf. If you would add a little bit more golf into that, you hike and mountain bike more than you play golf. But I'm going to hopefully change that.
Yeah, this time of year, that's what I do. When the weather's 120, I'm at it.
Let's play golf. It's 122. Let's go. Les, let's switch it up. Let's go back to you.
Tell me about the post-Turkey Day shootout. What's that all about?
My man Les, you are a promotional guy. I can tell right now. It's a fun tournament we host. This is actually the 10th annual tournament. We partner with Back9 the Golf Show. It's a partnership we've had. It's a golf show that we advertise with. We've advertised for quite some time, long before I was here. We promote it with them. It's kind of an event we put on ourselves. It's a two-person, I want to say it's a two-person scramble. That's bad. I don't know it off the top of my head. 3 divisions, giving away a bunch of prizes. And I was on the radio the other day promoting it. And the biggest thing I want to extend and let people know, the more people that register for it, the more prizes you can actually have, because the more people they have, the more money we have in the pot, the more we can buy prizes. It is a fun event. Bill Huffman, who's the main guy for Back9 the Golf Show, who's been around the Valley forever, wrote for the East Valley Tribune. Like I said, has his own radio show. Well-known guy around the town, golf writer. He'll be on property as the MC for that event. So it's a fun event, and being right after Thanksgiving, hopefully we'll get a lot of folks, and some folks may still be in town, hopefully.
I actually did not know that Huffman was involved with that. I'm going to be playing in his event, the Tucson Media Open, in a few weeks, in the first week of December. So that's really cool. I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
I used to play in that too when I was invited, so I have to make sure I tell Huff that too. I remember those days.
You weren't invited this year? I mean, they canceled it this year. So let's go back to Jason, because my next question is going to be a longer answer.
Well, so mine is a pace of play question. Obviously, that is probably one of the hottest topics in golf right now, and I'm curious to know what Troon and your facility are doing to bring awareness to that topic and educate your players? And what are you guys doing to help that out?
Hit the nail on the head. That is the biggest thing that we hear when we send out surveys. Just talk to people. They want their rounds to be faster. So we do a number of different things here. The first thing we do is we actually set what we call a time par, which means this is what you're expected to hit for your round of golf. So ours is 4 hours and 10 minutes. And what we do to help speed that up is we have player assistance, not your necessary like you normally would see rangers, where you'd see people out there harping at people, hey, get moving, you're behind schedule. We actually help people get in position, find people's golf balls, rake bunkers, 10 flags, do different things like that to assist the players that actually paid a lot of money to play to enjoy their round versus feel like they're getting yelled at. That's number one. Number two, the first 2 hours of every tee time we call pace setter tee times. We actually require people who reserve those tee times to play in 4 hours or less. So we tell them that at registration when they reserve their tee time, when they actually come into the golf shop, check in for their tee time, and at the first tee. So we kind of set the precedence there to have them know that, hey, we got to play in 4 hours or less. Because at that point, that's what's going to help kind of set up our day for the whole 4 hours and 10 minutes after that as well. Because if you run into a 4:45 first thing in the morning, that just sets your whole day off to a bad step. As well as a number of different programs, whether it's 4-hole rounds that we've come up with, 9 and dines with the 9-hole rounds. So anything like that just to make the time a little bit shorter so more people come out and play, don't have the 5 hours. It's been working out really well, and we've been seeing a lot of good results from it as well.
Good answer. It sounds like you guys got some good programs going.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a really cool program to be able to see it being implemented at facilities worldwide. I mean, say Wilo Golf Club down in Tucson, they actually just had new range balls made up, and it's got their time par on the, I mean, hopefully the time par doesn't change anytime soon, but on their range balls, it's got their time par, and it's a really cool program to see because it's showing that we're putting our best foot forward and trying to encourage pace of play and trying to help people get around the golf course faster. And I mean, we're not forcing them, as Brad alluded to. We're not forcing them to play faster. We're just trying to give them an expectation. So you book a tee time and you think, oh, it's going to take me 3.5 hours. Well, if the time par is 4 hours and 42 minutes, well, you're not going to play in 3.5 hours. So you're setting that expectation to those users. And it's a really cool program to have in place. And time pars do change. Again, I hope it doesn't change to say Wilo because they just got their range balls done. But I've seen time pars. I believe it was Whirlwind. They had their time par changed not too long ago. So it's neat to see it when it does drop because people are able to get around the golf course faster.
So ours dropped 10 minutes too. Ours was 4:20. Now it's 4:10.
Oh, that's awesome. When did it drop? Just recently?
A month ago.
Okay, cool.
Plus or minus.
Last, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to ask, what happened to the days when the old crusty ranger with a cigar come out there and booted you off the course if you wasn't keeping up? I guess those days are gone, aren't they?
Yes.
We'd like to hope so, at least.
I kind of want to see it like a retro throwback.
Well, you can't have it both ways. Either you push the people along or you put up with it.
So
we'll do a throwback Thursday where we have some old guys come on out to the club and actually have them push it along. We'll call that Throwback Thursday, Ricky Potts style, and have some old folks come out named Les and push everyone around.
Yeah, hey. Keep the cart off the path, on the path, and
they're not going to be on time, so I don't expect them to show up at the time that you tell them to be there. So you do a lot of group sales, obviously. So let's walk me through this. Let's say that I want to book a group of 120 golfers to play Ocotillo. What's that look like from start to finish? And I live in Tennessee. I don't live here, but I'm bringing 120 people to your golf course. We just met. What's that process look like, and what does that look like from start to finish until the day that I show up to the golf course?
Like you said a little while ago, a little bit longer answer here. The old days of, hey, it's going to be $150, take it or leave it, nowadays I think is as gone as the dinosaurs are. There's a lot of defining questions, qualifying questions to kind of see where we're at when it comes, especially to a budget standpoint of that said golfer. Well, the first thing I would do is just ask when you're looking to come out. Month of the year, figure out what time of the day you're looking to come out, day of the week. You said 120 players. What's the value add you're going to be in there? What it means, food and beverage, merchandise, things like that. I got to take all that into consideration, and then we start kind of figuring out a proposal at that time of things when it comes to demand. Because I base our group business off of demand, not necessarily what rate we're in at that time. So even in March, if I've seen past history to where our days aren't as busy as they may be, you may be able to get a really better value. But if you're looking for a Saturday, March 12th, it's obviously I won't be able to work with you the rate as much as you'd like to. But if you're, hey, you know what, a Wednesday and at the end of March, even though it's still March, I might be able to get you a much better value because the demand is better. And on top of that, if you're buying food and beverage, if you're buying merchandise, if you're doing all these other different things that kind of come into it, the value is the biggest part of it. That'd be really good. And that's kind of the term I use versus price is value.
I like that. I've played in a couple. I actually played in 2 different events and it's spot on. I mean, one of them was a smaller event. It was a scramble, and the other one was the Nike shop. Do you remember that day? Like that was in the.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was a pretty awesome experience. So I've seen both sides of that, and to be able to know that it starts and that it's not just, hey, it's $150 per player. Any questions is good to know. So yeah, that's really cool.
And the biggest thing too, and the thing that helps me out the most in our team here, like I said earlier. If you're not from out of town in that Tennessee, like you were saying, if you're in town, if I can somehow get you to the club, buy you lunch, buy you a cup of coffee, that sale is so much easier because I get to walk you through, see exactly from start to finish how the whole event will look, and really paint that picture for you on how all the event date's going to go down. The sales clip on that, like I said, is like 60, 70, 80%. When people come here, they see what they're getting. People will book with how beautiful they are, especially with a number of our competitors around us, a little less tier than us. So they kind of, if they're comparing us to those and the price is somewhat comparable, it's a no-brainer.
Jason, back to you for the final question.
So I gotta know, like, you guys had talked about golf. Do you actually play golf? And assuming so, what type of scores do you shoot?
Very good question. This time of year, not very much, and I guess shame on me, and I wasn't lying. Between May and September, I'll play a lot more. During that time, it depends. I'm not too good in La Cabeza, so I'd be anywhere between a couple under par to 85, depending on the day, and I'm not lying there at all.
That's funny. I need to play with you when you shoot 85, so I have a chance. Les, final question from you.
Yeah, I got one more question. I think Notre Dame's coming to town to play ASU this weekend, and obviously they bring a lot of people from Indiana that want to play golf this time of year. So do you market that kind of thing?
We sure do. Yeah, Troon Golf actually has a very good partnership with ASU. We're in their not brochure is the wrong word, but the game day brochure, I guess we'll call it. As well as on their Titantron or on their big scoreboard as well. So we have a great relationship with ASU. We've got a lot of Sun Devils all over Troon Golf, not just the corporate level, but here at the club too. I am not one, but I actually am going to the game tomorrow, so I will be rooting on the Sun Devils.
Yeah, they're not going to win, but go ahead and root anyway. But
and I don't follow any sport besides golf, so I have no idea. I just know that there have been students camping out for the last week trying to get tickets to the game. I know that much. Or that
it's Notre Dame, man. I mean, you ought to know that. Being from Indiana, it's Notre Dame.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had a football team. I'm just kidding. They had Rudy about that, didn't they? Rudy or something. I don't know. Okay, so the last part of the Friday Foursome has in the past been referred to as the Back9, but every time I call it that, Les wants to change the name. So this is an announcement that we are now, at this point moving forward, going to be calling what used to be the Back9 for Les Bailey.
All right.
Les, are you happy?
Yes, very happy.
I can tell. You actually your voice is a little bit there. You are excited. So what the lightning round is 9, which, now I want to go back to the Back9. Can we call it the Back9 lightning round? Can we?
I think you've confused everybody now.
I know. Anyway. The lightning round. 9 rapid-fire questions. The questions that you had leading up at this point, you've had time to be able to respond to. Well, this one, you don't have time. It's a rapid-fire. So answer these as fast as you can. Are you ready?
Short answers?
Well, you
need short answers?
If you talk fast, it could be a long answer, I suppose.
Be careful what you say. I can talk really fast. Let it rain.
All right, here we go. Besides Ocotillo, what is your favorite golf course?
Arizona National.
What is your favorite PGA Tour major?
Augusta, not even close.
You guys have a lot of great beers on tap. I said that I was going to talk about that. What is your favorite craft beer currently on tap at Bernard's?
Hefeweizen. Going quick. Come on, Ricky. Keep up.
Hang on. You said who makes it? Where's it from? What brewing company?
I don't know. I don't drink that much beer. A Santan Brewery. Sure. Well, let's go with that.
What is the biggest group outing you have ever booked?
216. I think they actually end up with 220 players.
And the smallest?
12.
Favorite hole at Ocotillo, and on which course?
Rats. That's actually a good one. White 4, actually. White number 4, because it's a little different. It's the hole right when you come in off as you drive into the clubhouse itself. You have to take a 3-wood off the tee. It's a good-looking hole. It's always in good shape. And 3-tiered green, I'd say white 4 is my favorite hole.
And I have made bogey on that hole at least once because I hit driver off that tee. Good to know that I should hit the 3-wood next time. Who is your favorite LPGA Tour player? Not what, who?
Oh, I don't follow the LPGA Tour, so I'll say Stacey Lewis because I think she's the best player out there right now.
You just literally have like 3 names in your head, and it's Lexi Thompson.
It was her, Michelle Wee, and Babe Diedrich Zaharian.
You should have said Babe. Now, this is the most important question that you'll get all day, regardless of the Friday Foursome. And Les knows what's coming. Jason knows what's coming. And be careful how you answer this. But will Tiger break Jack's record?
I am a Tiger fan, number 1. I want to make sure everyone is aware of that. 2, this is the first time I have ever doubted Tiger Woods and what's going on with his back. With that being said, I think it's going to be a challenge for him to catch up to Jack just because of all the other talent that's out there. So if it was up to me, I'd probably say no, which means he's going to probably break it in 2 years.
Which is awesome. And to Tony Corologos, who posted today in the community about Rory breaking his record, he wants to know, maybe next week I should switch it up and be like, will Rory break Jack's record, because that's funny. And the final question of your Friday Foursome, what is next for Brad Hodges? And it's not lunch, because you had lunch like 4 hours ago.
Yeah, what's next for Brad Hodges is Sun Devil game tomorrow, party tomorrow night, do some housework on Sunday, sit on my butt the rest of the Sunday and watch football.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Les, for being late. Thank you very much, Jason, for also being late. Thank you, Brad, for being on time. And as Jesus Martinez always says and stole from the greatest golf movie of all time, make more birdies.